Welcome everybody to another episode of Make Your Point podcast with your host here, Chris Henderson. Today, it's episode 4, season 1, episode 4. And I'd like to thank all of you guys that's listened to my previous podcast, that's subscribed, that's comment. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support, and just continue listening on the topics I like to talk about and discuss. And if you want to add anything, please feel free to add to the conversation. Today we're going to talk about January 6th and the storm on Capitol Hill. The point I'm going to make today is the riot on Capitol Hill proves that voting is powerful. And January 6th was a day where Congress, both the House and the Senate, supposed to count and certify the electoral votes from November's election, right? But what happened on that day? Trump decided to put together a Save America rally, Save America speech, which riled up his base, which riled up his supporters, which riled up his extremists, and those extremists decided to take out their frustrations, to take out their anger, to take out their disapproval of the results of the votes on Congress on Capitol Hill and storm Capitol Hill. Now, in that group where we had supporters of Trump, we had Proud Boys, we had QAnon, we had the whole list of extremists, ideologists who believed that the voting was fraudulent, that it was a scam, that they tried to steal it. They believed all different types of rhetoric that was spewed to them, that they believe, and to my idea that no matter the results of the election, if Donald Trump did not win, it was illegitimate. And that's one thing that to speak of. No matter how you put it, no matter what happened, if Joe Biden won, the election was illegitimate. The election was fraudulent. They stole it, right? The only way that it was a true election, for in their eyes, if Trump won, and it didn't matter, right? If Joe Biden won, and they have more seats in the House and they have more seats in the Senate, it still was stolen. So the idea is a little bit flawed, but they're the believers, they're the supporters, there's his base, there's his stronghold, and they're gonna ride or die with Trump no matter what. During this storm on Capitol Hill, 5 people were killed. There was a video out of a young lady getting shot trying to rush into the House, the House Congress area, and one Capitol officer was also killed at the time. The one thing that is important during this arrest, I mean, there was hundreds, probably even thousands of people that rushed Capitol Hill, that were on the steps, that were hanging around. Plus, there was hundreds of people inside the Capitol, storming the Capitol, going through offices, going through the presiding areas, going through everywhere they could possibly to destroy things, to take things. They were looking for people. They were trying to find Nancy Pelosi. They were trying to find other congressmen, congresswomen, taking photos. They were doing everything they possibly could to disrupt Congress's act of duty, to disrupt and make their voice be known that they did not believe that the election results were true, that the results were fraudulent. The day of the riot, 60 people were arrested. But currently, that the FBI and other agencies have used social media, have used people's cameras, have used videos, and have arrested over hundreds and looking for hundreds of more people, right? They went in there with cameras blazing, live streaming things. They also went in there, recorded, took pictures, have their faces on camera. They weren't covering much. So the agencies have used that information to try to search. They've arrested 100 people, and charge them with federal charges for a multitude of things. The point that stands out with that 60 arrests of the day of, because all those people that were actually inside the the Capitol, right? There was only 60 arrests. For that same march about a year ago, with Black Lives Matter and other things that were passing through, they arrested over 200 people. So the balance of arrests per number of people per what they were doing is a little bit off. To go ahead of what the people did, they rushed in. The Capitol Police was not prepared. They were not prepared with the manpower to hold these people back. There is to this day there is light that they knew they had some information about this could possibly happen. There's also information and also ideas behind the fact that there could be insiders in not only the politicians but in the police that help them to escalate and to get inside and to know where people's offices are. There's videos of Capitol Police officers opening up the barricades and letting people in or letting them pass them by. So there's an idea behind not only the minimal arrest but them also getting in. When you think about it, the numbers overall reflect and could reflect that idea. As you think about it, if we have 100 people, right, even in our general election, it's about 50-50 that voted for Biden and 50 that voted for Trump. So within that 50%, there is about a 20 to 30% that are Trump's baits, that are diehard Trumpers. So even in your general population of police officers, Capitol Police officers, politicians, whatever, within a 50-50 split of that overall masses, 20% of them are stronghold Trump supporters. So they could help in any way if they wanted to help push forward that idea, help the rioters get inside. Now, once they got inside, right, they broke into Nancy Pelosi's office, took her stuff, went through her desk, took pictures of papers on there. They stole her mail. They chanted the ideas of we want our country back. The Congress worked for us so we can be in here. This is our country, our house, right? And all this voice and chant and ideas that this is us, we belong here, you work for us, so we can do anything what we want, and which is not the wrong idea. This is not how democracy works, right? Democracy works on the idea that we must vote. Our voice is through our vote, and then our vote we elect others, and others speak on our behalf, right? And if you don't go out and vote, or if you don't get the 50% or 50+%, the overall majority of the votes, then not say your voice doesn't matter, but your voice has been minimalized in terms of that you need to reinvigorize your base again, reinvigorate your message so that you can get the majority of Americans, the majority of the groups behind you. And in this case, the Trump supporters, these Trump loyalists, right, they didn't have 50%, or they didn't have a majority of the votes, and that not their voice is always going to be heard, right? There's always going to be a percentage of people that represent them, but it's not be strong enough. And what they wanted is that they want their voice to be heard 100%. They wanted their voice to be the ruler of everything. They wanted their voice to stand out and to control the masses. And what happened this election is that everybody else came out in strongholds. Everybody else stood up and stood up, standing for the right, voted, and now they control for 4 years the destiny, the progress, the direction of America. Now, while this was going on, not only Nancy Pelosi but other members of Congress asked for the National Guard to come and help and protect and push the people back. It was denied multiple times, but eventually, I think after about 3 or 4 hours, the National Guards did come through and help protect him. Way late. President-elect Biden did a live speech to help try to calm down the people, tell them to go home, and also tell the president to send out a message to his supporters to stop with the violence, stop with the riots, and to go home. President Trump then, or about the same time, I'm not 100% for sure, sent out a recorded message. Right, this is recorded, not live message, saying that violence is not, it was a on the fence kind of message where he said violence is not the answer. You guys should go home. Forget about the voting's over. But he said, we love you, we behind you, we support you. So it was one of those mixed messages. Again, this puts on the idea that I'm trying to prove that your voting is powerful, right? Is when the people come out and vote, when people come out and put their voices heard, right, and push America in a direction forward that's more towards equality, more towards idea of freedom, idea away from this tyranny, away from this ruler of one man, then there's going to be some backlash. And this is the backlash. Because the idea is that these people were not for democracy. These people were not for America. Because they took down the American flag on Capitol Hill and put up a Trump flag. These people walk through Congress not with the American flag, but with a Trump flag and with a Confederate flag. And those flags are not symbolisms of America or America today. Those are symbolisms of a man, which is the idea of tyranny, which is the idea of a king, which is the idea of one ruler, right? Which is not America. And Confederacy. Those are the people that succeeded or wanted to succeed against America as a whole. And so the conflict to me is very, very unbalanced, right? They try to push this idea of we don't want to go, this is pushing us towards communism and socialism and Marxism, but they're like Trump, ruler Trump, put Trump in here for another 4, 8, 16, 12 years, let his kids rule. We want Trump's idea and not the American of democracy. So the balance is so skewed and is so misdeceiving that it just causes insurrection. The idea, though, is that voting is powerful. If you guys do not know, if you guys not understand these last 4 years, these last 8 years, these next 2 years, that voting is powerful. Not only is that how you get your voice heard, but that's how you help control the destiny and the direction of America, right? And that the idea behind everything is that in democracy, right, if you get a majority of votes, you win, right? That's the rules of the game. And throughout American history, right, either one side, majority side, the dominant side has pretty much ruled the way the country is going to run, right? That dominant side is ruled. They've set the rules. When things started to change a little bit, right, through civil rights acts and other things, they changed the rules again so that they can stay dominant, right? And throughout kind of history until now, when things had to change a little bit for a better progress of America, the rules got changed again, or there was a little bit of backlash. But this time, right, the rules were in place. Everybody stood up. Everybody stood up together. And the side that wants progress, the side that wants equality, the side that wants to lift everybody, won. And the rules set against them, set rules against them. So if the rules were not set for you to win, or the game is not set for you to win, and somehow, right, you rally, you put together, you become strong, and you win, this is what happened. The majority wants to fight back. And the only way they can fight back instantly is through violence. Instead of, hey, we need our message better. We need to come out within 2 years and vote better, 4 years and vote better. They say, no, you guys cheated. We want our country back. This is illegitimate. But the other side of progress won through the rules that the majority and the oppressors have been putting out for hundreds of years. Once again, I'd like to thank you for your time. This is Make Your Appointment Podcast with Chris Henderson. Subscribe, like, comment, and I hope to hear from you again in the near future. Thank you.